and then how we will check whether they are suitable for the existing environment or not by the help of monitoring the environment. So we have discussed about all these three aspects. Today we'll continue with the other aspects like the corporate appraisal. That is idea we will appraise whether it is suitable for our organization or not, and then we check about the particular scouting of ideas. That is how generally people will get ideas, and then we will check about the project rating index. That is how to select the best project out of the selected ideas. So we will start our discussion with this particular aspect. So what is project identification? Yesterday we have seen that choosing the right idea which is best fit for our organization. That is generally the project identification. So we will continue our discussion with corporate appraisal. So corporate appraisal refers to identifying the strengths and weaknesses within the organization. So as we know that you people are familiar with performance appraisal. So what is a performance appraisal generally? You are appraising the individual performance such that you can give him a reward or a particular promotion or demotion or a training. So this particular aspect of decisions can be taken when you understand how a person is working in the organization, what is his key strengths and what is his weaknesses, so you can give training for to overcome his weaknesses. Likewise, if you conduct the appraisal for the organization or your firm, then we simply call it as a corporate appraisal. So corporate appraisal refers to identifying the strengths, weaknesses within the organization. So generally, what is the objective of conducting a corporate appraisal is means only first to understand or identify the strengths and weaknesses which influence the company's ability to achieve its goals. So what are our weaknesses which are stopping us to enter into the market or penetrate into the market swiftly, or what are our strengths? So these are the aspects generally we understand with this particular corporate appraisal. So here we have two aspects. So one is every organization is having a strength as well as weakness. So what is a corporate strength? So generally corporate strength is a strong point for the company, something that it does well or something that is unique. So for every organization you have something which is very well or you are good at, and at the same time you are unique also. That is something maybe unique in your organization, because of it the people are purchasing your product. So this is generally called as corporate strength. So this strength can be maybe a skill or the competency of your firm or certain resources which are available for you, or the competitive uh, capability that gives the company an advantage. So what are all the aspects means? Here, whenever you are saying a corporate strength means it is unique for your organization, as well as it shows your ability to sustain in the market. So these aspects generally you may be good at some skills. Your firm may be good at doing some skills or some competency. That is, you have a good human resource, might be you have a good technology with your hand, or you may be having good supply chain. So these are some of the areas where you may do good, or you may be having good brand loyalty. So these are the aspects generally comes under corporate strength. So next, what is a corporate weakness? Generally, corporate weakness is generally we call it as a constraint or obstacle, which stops the firm generally to move further into the market. So generally, it blocks the company's desired direction or hinder or stop the company in gaining a competitive advantage. So every firm is having none of that less. It is having a weakness also sometimes. So because of this weakness, this particular firm cannot penetrate into the market properly or gain the competitive advantage in the market. So these particular weaknesses can be any number of things. So it can be a resource that company does not have. For example, you may not having a good labor force. So that is generally a human resource. You may be lacking human resource. Sometimes you may not have a proper sufficient funds in your organization. That is financial, what we call it as uh, uh, lack of financial resources. And next is you may be having a poor technology with you. So this is another problem to go further in the market. So these are the aspects generally you take into consideration. So every firm is also having some disadvantages. So these disadvantages generally put you to down in the particular competitive edge. So but you can identify these weaknesses, and you can okay, make them into opportunities sometimes. So for example, if you have a poor technology, then you can upgrade the technology. For example, you don't have proper funds with your organization, then you go for the giving IPOs in the market and pulling up the money from the market, or you can go with the mergers and you can go with the particular acquisitions. So these are the aspects generally you take into consideration. And then all weaknesses will not make you vulnerable to the competition. Some weaknesses may be helpful for you to create more opportunities. So these weaknesses, understanding the weaknesses is the another important thing. So corporate appraisal is the aspect wherein you can understand your strengths as well as weaknesses. So what are the general appraisal system? In corporate appraisal we follow the aspects. The first aspect is you check for your market and distribution. So in market and distribution, while you are appraising, you take into consideration the following aspect. The aspects like market image, where is your company image, and product line and market share, distribution network, the customer loyalty, marketing and distribution cost. So these are the parameters or metrics you generally check when you are appraising your firm in the aspect of market and distribution. So coming to production and operation, it generally covers the particular ability or capacity of the plant to produce, or the ability of raw materials and other parts in your firm, and the degree of vertical integration, the locational advantages, as well as the cost structure, that is production cost. Here we are talking about how best you are producing the product at the cheapest price. So that is another competitive advantage generally you people are having. So this is related to the production and operation when you are appraising your firm. So what is your ability to produce, how many number of units you can produce in the market when compared to other firms, and what is the storage capacity of your firm to store the raw materials and other important forms, and the degree of vertical integration, how you can integrate the particular firm's vertical line. And next, locational advantages, that is the nearest to the market, because proximity to markets, as you have studied in operations management, one of the factors which are influencing the plant location. If you remember in your OM, one of the factor which is influencing the plant location is the locational advantage. So generally for this you have studied the theories also. In the theory generally you go, most popular theory is median theory. Okay, median theory is the theory in which we generally you people are generally okay. You select the location which is strategically nearest to the raw materials, nearest to the market, and nearest to the supply chain. So these are likewise the locational advantage. Sometimes, as you know that, for example, Amazon has started its particular warehouse unit in the Hyderabad. When compared to other areas, it has chosen the Hyderabad location. Why? Because as you people know that Hyderabad is geographically centrally located in India when compared to other firms. So that is the in South India majorly most of the cities are nearest for the Hyderabad. You can take it to Bangalore, Chennai, or to the Visakhapatnam. So this is the area where you generally get the locational advantages. So why? Because means the distribution cost will come down, because the transportation cost comes down after the particular product is produced. So this is another advantage when you have a proper location. So these are the aspects you check in production and operation when you are appraising the corporate appraisal. So when you are appraising the firm. And next one is the research and development. As you know that every firm requires some innovation and new product developments. So for this, generally you require a separate research and development department, R&D department, as well as you have to allocate funds for that particular department to identify the new options or new products. So this is another important one. So the firm's track record on the new product developments, and the firm's ability to test the facilities and the laboratories the firm is having, and the coordination between the research and operation. Why? Because in production department, operation in the sense in the production department, you produce. In research, generally you have a thought in the particular lab. So whatever you are producing in the lab, can we make it into a mass production? That is another important thing. Why? Because means in the lab, whatever you are doing, when you do it in the mass production, sometimes the cost of the product will increase. So when you have the cost of the product is high in nature, then automatically, even though that particular product is good, but people will go for substitutes. As yesterday we discussed scamper technique. So people will choose for substitute. Why? Because means when you are in your pocket, you are only having, for example, 10 rupees, but you are feeling thirst. So even though you are desired to have a soft drink, but this 10 rupees is not enough for you to purchase a soft drink. So then you purchase a water bottle and you simply get satisfied with that particular desire. So this is you search for the substitute when the cost of the product is high. So as you know that based upon the consumption pattern of the people and their income pattern of the people, so even though you are producing a product, if the product is costly in nature and it is not reachable to every individual customer, in such cases, generally they search for the substitutes. As you know, you have the other example that you have seen that the petrol can be made from the plastic. Some people have given some inventions, as you have come across in the newspapers, that some people have produced the petrol in the particular from the plastic through pressure cookers. So but why it is not came into a particular level, why we are still today not producing the petrol from the plastic? The main reason is only the cost of production. So in small scale, for any for example testing purpose, okay, you can do it, but the cost of the product, once if you have make it into a particular form, then the cost per petrol is becoming 200. If you for example you take you are producing it from the plastic, the cost per petrol is becoming 200 rupees. 1 minute ma. Hello, hello. So if you don't mind, you can share the link to your friends ma, because some of your friends are not connected. I will wait for a while. Just share this particular link to your friends ma, in your respective groups, college groups. All right, we will continue. So this particular one is related to the research and development. Then we continue with the corporate resources and personnel. So you assess your individual human resource strength. So how this particular strength is going to helpful in your organization builder. So generally you appraise the corporate image in the market and your relationship with the government agencies and the top management's dynamism in accepting the particular proposals and the competencies and commitment of employees, that is your uh, mm, employee strengths, generally we call it as, and how you have the state of industrial relation. So these are the aspects generally you connect with this particular corporate resources and personal appraisal. And then you appraise the situation of your finance and accounting. So here, what is the financial leverage you have, the cost of capital you required for the particular project, and the tax situation in the country, and relationship with the stakeholders, and how you are controlling the accounting systems and cash flows. So in these all aspects, generally we appraise. So corporate appraisal is the technique wherein we appraise the firm's strengths and weaknesses in various aspects. So what are all the various aspects means? The first one is in the market and distribution. What is your ability in the market and distribution? What are your strengths and weaknesses in production and operation? And what are your strengths in research and development? And what are your strengths in corporate resource acquirement and personnel you are having? And the finance and accounting of your organization. So once you know that this particular project idea, what is the idea is you have taken, it is having a good business in the market, and it is viable to deliver to the customer, then it is deliverable. For example, the project idea is deliverable. That is very, very important. So if it is deliverable and the cost of the product or the cost of the project is also taken into consideration, these all, because cost of the project is very important means, because do you have the ability to invest? Because once you know the cost of the project, then you search for the options. Do you have the sufficient funds in your organization to invest in the particular uh, mm, project idea? If not, what is the other sources? For example, you can go with the collaboration. So who is also having the same set of mind in the other firm? Generally you maintain a relationship with that particular individuals and you can ask for the investment. So these are the options you will be having. So further, generally we require the corporate appraisal while choosing the project idea to take furthermore. So then after corporate appraisal, we go with this particular, the scouting of ideas. So generally how the ideas are come generally. So if I am not wrong, the scouting of ideas has to be studied after project idea generation. But according to your textbook, the scouting of ideas is given in the fifth step. But in reality, if you see how you get ideas means idea generation and how you get ideas. So these two are interrelated. But as per your textbook, it is as given in the fifth step. So I am covering as per your textbook. So scouting of ideas. So what do you mean by scouting? So the dictionary meaning of scouting is to examine or observe anything in order to obtain information. So it is according to Collins dictionary. So what is scouting means? It is the examine or observing, as yesterday I told you. So here in project idea, what is the scouting of ideas means? Idea scouting means to examine the trends and market developments and study the import and export statistics and study the government policies with regard to investment in industries and investigate product and labor profiles of a particular region and then anticipate these developments in the form of possibility, then exploring those possibilities in the form of new and innovative business ideas. So in simple we can say that idea scouting is the process of observing or examining the market trends or the import and export policies of the government as well as the government's policies with regard to the investment in the industries, as well as you are searching for the labor profiles in the particular region, and then you are assessing the possibilities where you can invest in these particular areas. For example, if any particular product, the import export prices came down, then automatically you can export that product to other areas. So these are the aspects generally you take into consideration, and the trends in the market are also another important one. So you search the ideas. Generally, you have covered in idea generation. You get the ideas from the workers and other aspects. So likewise, you search these particular market aspects and you get these particular ideas, and you generally explore those possibilities and make them into a new business idea. So next one is the demand and supply trends. So what do you mean by demand and supply trends? So in scouting of ideas, the first step is in demand and supply trends. Generally, what we generally search for it means that particular supply and demand in the particular product. So for example, some area you have a scope, but you haven't entered in that particular area, then it is an open market for you. You can enter into it. For example, you take Kellogg cornflakes. Generally, they are introduced in the market to satisfy the demand of the customers for light and nutritious food. Why? Because means this particular Kellogg's cornflakes are generally introduced in the markets where there is generally service sector highly, or where the people used to move to the work daily. For example, in cities mostly they concentrated on the cities in the first stage. Why? Because means as these people in the early mornings, they don't have enough time to prepare the breakfast and go to the particular offices. So in such cases, they try to minimize the particular cooking process and to get the nutrition food. So they have introduced into these markets. Why? Because here there is a need. That is, the need is for the customers the particular nutritious breakfast. But they are missing this nutritious breakfast because of the lack of time. Why? Because means if you have to prepare the breakfast, again you have to prepare the lunch box in cities if you are moving for a particular job. So they only prepare the particular lunch, and they take the lunch box along with them, but they are skipping the particular breakfast. But it is in the long run, it is impacting on their health. So to minimize this particular aspect and provide the nutritious food, the Kellogg's has introduced this particular light and nutritious breakfast, which is a easy method where you can mix it into the milk and you can have it fastly within the 2 minutes. So likewise, the noodles also, Maggi noodles, 2-minute noodles, where you can um, satisfy the desire of hunger. So when you don't have enough, so the nutrition food Maggi. So these are the aspects based upon the particular uh, demand and supply trends. You generally identify the needs of the particular customers. And next one is the import and export statistics. So as you know that this particular information you generally get it from government of in India. So sometimes the particular government will encourage the exports as well as imports. For example, currently you take that for a vaccination process is there. For vaccination, as we know that the raw material we require. What is the raw material? Some raw material we are getting it from USA. So the import policies on this particular raw material for this particular vaccination product is somewhat wiped off by the government, that they have reduced the amount of import charges. So you can get the raw material quickly. And the same way on the exports also. As you know that the basmati rice, the largest exporters from the Asia, it is India and Pakistan. So currently, as you know that this particular UP government is going for a geographical index for this particular product, basmati rice in European Union. So as there is a particular problem with the Pakistan also, they are objecting that the product geographical index is not should be given for the basmati rice to India. Why? Because means when you get this particular geographical index, as you know that you can sue the particular countries which are producing in the name of India the basmati rice. So this is the problem, because Pakistan is also having a good stake of exports in basmati rice to European Union. So we have also have a next share after Pakistan. So this is the way generally what happens means governments will encourage the particular people for the exports of the particular products which are abundantly available in our area, so that you can get some foreign currencies. So this is again it is going to the particular balance of payment aspect. So the exports and import policies of the particular government are also helpful in generating new business ideas. And next one is the technologies which are available and the scientific know-how. So generally you consider a comprehensive study of this particular technological and scientific advancements in the particular products and process, and which will help you to provide new ideas, right? For example, as you know that currently the masks and sanitizers, so everyone is initial stage, not today. In the particular YouTube's particular WhatsApp, they came in front of that I have identified a new mask which can save you. So it is already having a sanitizer, and you can see that some videos they have tried their level best to produce some masks which can protect you. So this is the innovation generally happens when there is a need, dire need. And next, the industry profiles of the particular area. So from the industry profiles, uh, you get the ideas. That is the range of the products, the market, and the profitability. For example, in India, generally they release the particular uh, 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 confederation of this particular chamber of commerce. Generally, they will release the particular document. In that particular document, they will generally give you the areas where you can invest for the investors. So these are the areas where you can invest. So automatically you get some ideas related to this particular products. So these are the particular aspects. And next, the process product or process profiles. So as in product and process profiles, generally already there is an existing product, but based upon the customer feedback and some other aspects, once you use that products, you identify the using that particular product is difficult, or you came to know that the product weight is very high and it is not handy in nature. Then automatically you try to minimize or reduce the or eliminate the parts which are not useful for you. Then automatically the lightweight products will get boom in the market. So this is the way the research will happen. So by seeing once already the product is launched, but the product is having some problems, so you rectify those problems. Likewise for processes also, you have a currently one process or methodology you are doing. So again you change that particular methodology by understanding or reducing the particular repetitive tasks, or the sequencing the tasks in a proper order. Because earlier you think that at the time of initiation, okay, this is the method which is good, but while you are doing again and again the same method, now you understand that okay, this is not good. For example, the best thing is you on the first day from your home to college, your father or your particular guardian will take you on a one road which is generally maybe heavy traffic road, but he will take you on that particular road. So on the first day, as you don't know, you simply move on, and for some days you generally follow that road only. But after some time, generally your friends, one of your friend might be telling you that okay, we have other path which is having a shortcut, so we can go with that particular shortcut. So then automatically you eliminate the longest path and you try to go with the shortcut. So you can save time and you can reduce the traffic in the particular shortcut also. But the problem is sometimes you have risk involved because people movement is less. So likewise in organization also, once you have a process or methodology, so this particular methodology, you think that at initiation stage this is good, so you adopt the methodology and you produce your products as per that methodology. But after some time, you can identify there is a repetition, or sometimes there is a tasks which are not required. In such cases, generally you eliminate those operations and you try to strengthen your manufacturing process. That is very, very important. So this is what you generally get ideas for the product or process profiles. And next one is from skill or labor profiles. So generally in some areas, generally you have a good skill workers. So, but they don't know how to, okay, marketize these products. But they are having a good skill. They are producing good products, but they don't know how to marketize their products. Then automatically you take them and you sell them particular, purchase the products from them and you sell them market where it is required. The best example is, as you know that today in Amazon everything is available. Even the particular pots are also available. You know that the mud pots are also they are selling. But as you know that on the roads earlier you used to have this particular mud pots, but currently you are purchasing through Amazon. So here, why it is happening means the particular market channelization, because you believe that whatever product is available in Amazon is having a good quality products. So you try to purchase it. And second is the people became lazy. They don't want to go outside of their home and they want to search on the particular streets and purchase the particular product. Because in Amazon, sitting at the home, you will get that particular product. So because of these ideas, generally you purchase through these particular websites. So you examine the particular skills in the particular local area and you can sell that particular products in some other area where there is need for that particular product. So this is the thing generally happens. So with the skill and labor profiles also you can generate project ideas. So that is your for example, as you know that sorry to use it the word generally, bongulo chicken అనేది మీకు తెలుసు. So and pot biryani currently, as you know that the pot biryani is also famous. So everyone is keeping the pots in the cities and they are selling in the name of the particular pot biryani. So these are the things generally. It is only restricted to some village area, but now because of the people's acceptance for that product, you are marketizing that particular product in some other areas. So these are the things based upon skill or labor profiles. And generally the offers by the governments and financial institutions and developmental banks also makes you to get the particular project ideas. For example, Asian Development Bank generally gives you amount related to the infrastructure development. In any country, you can get the particular Asian Development Bank. It will produce it. For example, most of the highways at initial stage are done with the help of Asian Development Bank only. For example, if you take in Kakinada, the road from Achanpeta to Samalkota, we generally call it as ADB road. The name for ADB road is only that particular road is constructed by the funds taken from the Asian Development Bank. That's why the road name is called as ADB road. So likewise in India for infrastructure development, generally the particular banks will give you some funds. So you take that opportunity and you construct the roads and you can get the particular project ideas. So these are the aspects generally which help you to generate the project ideas. So the scouting of ideas, and next based upon the local materials and natural resources availability statistics. So as you know that in some area there is an abundance of resource, and in some other area you require the resource. Just simply you transport that resource from one location to other location, automatically you gain profits. So this is the another aspect related to this particular local materials and natural resources. And from the economic and social trends, you can get the particular ideas from economic and social trends in the particular area. So based upon the consumer demands and consumption pattern, automatically you can generate new business opportunities. For example, as you know that currently because of this particular service sector only they are having 5 days working and 2 days leisure. So because of these 2 days leisure, these people used to go for the holiday trips, every weekend trips generally. So it leads to a particular business in the market based upon the recreational products and services like recreational clubs in the outskirts of the cities. As you know that in most of the cities they have particular Wonderla or some other areas where they have the recreational clubs. Why? Because means people are getting enough leisure time because they are only working for 5 days and 2 days are leisure, and they would like to uh, uh, get a stress boosters. So because of these 5 days work, heavy hectic task, because they would like to get a relief from the for these 2 days, because they are searching for the leisure. In this leisure hour, they want recreational facilities. So this is a new idea where you are developing some resorts in the outskirts of the cities. So people are getting relaxation. So this is a new project idea based upon the particular need of the people. So these are the aspects based upon economic and social trends. And the last one is analysis of sick units. Why? Because means some organizations will become sick because of uh, poor management decisions. Because of these poor management decisions, some organizations will become as sick units. If you take up those sick units and if you plan properly, you can make that particular sick unit into a profit-oriented organization. So these are the certain project ideas where you purchase the sick unit, and once you purchase the sick unit, you also get the assets of that particular unit, and with proper planning, then you make that particular unit into a profit oriented. So these are the another aspect where you can generally get. So mostly in India, we generally get sickness due to the particular problem with the particular government acceptance or the particular ability to finance or some other areas. So you hire those particular sick units, and with the particular sound management practices, and by infusing some more capital in that particular area, automatically you can get a good scope in that particular investment area. So these are the areas where you generally get the ideas. And next and important aspect is, okay, now you are till now you are familiar with that, okay, how to generate the idea and how you generally get ideas, that is based upon the idea scouting. Then how to screen the ideas, that is initial screening and detailed screening, and how to check whether they are fit for the organization or not, that is based upon the monitoring the environment, and how whether that idea is strategically useful for your organization or not, based upon the corporate appraisal. Now you got 3 or 4 ideas in your hand now, right now, because after producing a pool of ideas, now you came to have in your hand only 3 or 4 ideas. So out of these ideas, which project idea is good for you? So for this, generally we require a scientific process or systematic method. So for this, generally we go with a weighted method by giving some weights to the particular projects by identifying. So this particular method is generally called as project rating or ranking index. So this is most important and difficult step in project management, because here making the right project choices, especially choosing which project should be done now, later, and most importantly never, because here you take the decision out of the 4 ideas. For example, one idea may be taken directly now because based upon it, because it is suitable to the current situation, and some idea can be you can keep it for a longer way because you can have market in the future, but not right now, that is later. But some ideas are not worthwhile, so you drop those ideas. That idea will not become anyway successful. So these are the things generally you identify with the project rating or ranking index. So making a choice of the right project is very, very important. So hence project managers generally prioritize the projects. But this particular prioritizing the projects in formal methods is followed by only few organizations. So most of the particular organizations which use this particular formal models, generally they go with this particular method of pointing scoring, method of point scoring. So under this method, what happens generally, they try to give project ranking based upon the identified indexes. And these for these indexes, generally they develop some indexes and they try to give weightage for this particular uh, project rating indexes. So these particular weightages will be given in points from 0 to 10. So they will multiply with the weighted average, and the particular project which is having the highest weightage, it will be selected. So this is based upon. So the points or scores assigned to the projects generally represent the judgments about the worth of a project for the resource required. So generally you take the particular scoring scale from 0 to 10 and can be used for factors associated to each other. So generally 10 means the highest number, which is exceptionally good resource. So the projects which are falling below the threshold, generally that is the you keep some weighted average. Below that particular weighted average, you simply reject those projects, and with the highest scores generally get selected. So what are the steps involved in determining the project rating or rating index? The first one is we have to identify the factors relevant for project rating or ranking. So you must identify all the factors, and then you have to assign the weights to these factors. So the weights should supposed to reflect their relative importance. And next, rate the project proposal on various factors using a suitable rating scale. Generally, you can take 5-point scale or 7-point scale, that is up to you. And for each factor, you multiply the factor rating with the factor weight to get the factor score. and all factor scores to get the overall project rating or ranking score. If you remember in operations management in your third semester, we have done this particular weighted average method in choosing the location. So the same formula is applied here for the project ideas also. So how it is? So you see this particular, it is one of the rating index. If you see on the left side, we have factors, and we have a factor weight for each factor, and we have the rating index, and what we have the factor score. For example, for a project, we have identified 5 parameters or indexes. One is technical know-how, second one is adequacy of market, third one is input availability, fourth one is consistency with government policies, and fifth one is reasonableness of cost of raw material. So these are the 5 project indexes we have identified for this project to select. So for each individual project factor, we have given a weight. For example, technical know-how, it is 0.25 because we require technical knowledge, and adequacy of market 0.15, input availability 10, consistency with government policies 20, and reasonableness of cost of materials 0.30. So these are the weighted. So now you give the rating. So if you see the technical know-how, you are giving 3 points, and adequacy of market 3 points, input availability 4 points, consistency of government policies 4 points, reasonableness of raw materials is 2 points. So now you multiply 0.25 with 3 because you have given 3 points for technical know-how, it is 0.75 factor score. Likewise, you get the factor score, and finally you get the rating index, that is 3. So this is for one project. Likewise, you conduct the same thing for 2 or 3 projects, and which project is having highest score, you select that project. So this is the way generally you consider with the project rating or particular index. So the precautions while using project rating index, what are the precautions you must take means, as it is based upon scoring method, sometimes you get same score for 2 projects, or sometimes with very less difference. In such cases, generally decision becomes very difficult by the project managers. And you must always identify the relevant factors for the projects with some caution. And it is an informal approach and based on judgment. So you have some biases, errors, and sometimes politics are also played by the people in choosing the indexes. So these are the aspects to be taken into consideration. So with this, the particular topic is completed. So we will summarize the particular topic. So far what we have discussed in yesterday's session and today's session. The first one is we have seen what is idea generation. So as we know that idea generation is a systematic search for new product ideas obtained internally or externally. So it is a systematic approach to generation of ideas to increase the number of alternatives available, but also helps in selection of the best alternative. So then you have the sources of idea generation generally. So the sources of idea generation, we generally get it from workers, annual publications, or government or other institutions, managements, or customers or market analysts, suppliers, specialists, and distribution channels. And then we have seen idea screening. So in idea screening, we discussed about the initial screening and detailed screening. In initial screening, if the particular project idea is not compatible to the particular aim and constraints, then automatically we drop the ideas. In detailed screening, we go with all the quantitative analysis of this particular market analysis, production analysis, and other analysis. And then we monitor the environment. So in monitoring the environment, we have seen the Porter 5 forces analysis as well as the TESOL analysis. So then the idea scouting, today we discussed what is an idea scouting. That is how you get the ideas from the market, that is examining or exploring the sources of business ideas. And then we have seen the project rating or rating index. So how you generally choose the best project idea out of the final ideas. So this is the particular discussion we have done from past 2 days. With this, we will complete this particular project identification. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you may ask.